we talked about a little bit about how you don't manage your team, right? You don't micromanage your team. Talk about the coaching being a huge part of your organization. My question a little bit where I want to go with this is, when it comes to your team, do you get to know them on a personal level, or are you checking in with them on more of a personal level outside of just, your traditional meetings?
So as I've gotten older and more experience, I do keep, how do I say it? Like when I first started SPN Networks, I was partying really hard with my employees.
Well, so you were young and small, right? As a company.
Young and small, right? And it's just doing things I shouldn't have been doing. And that really, what didn't really work out for me. And so I quickly realized that I can't really have that relationship outside of work with my employees if I want to be able to be seen as their manager and their boss. But at the same time, I'm very passionate. I am invested in their growth. I care about them as individuals. I am fortunate that they come to work every day and do their best work for SPN and our clients. And I will do anything I can for them, how I can for them. Now, I don't, go out on weekends with them and go to the bar or, sometimes I have been invited to quinceañeras or a wedding. Those I attend. But I'm always in my best behavior, right? Like I think as an owner, you always have to, set yourself apart, so that you're always, seen that way. And what I mean by that is, we do have happy hour. We do have corporate events. I'll have one or two drinks and that's kind of it. That's my limit, and so I'm not there to make a fool of myself or just keep the relationship how it should be.
Yeah.
And so that's really worked for me. And I also see that from other people as well. Like even other managers that I've spoken to, they would share the same thing with me. Like even when they're sponsoring happy hour, they go there, buy the first round of drinks, and then they take off early and let the team do their thing. But I'm still very connected to every one of them. Like I still know about their children. I still know about their goals. I like to know about something that they're doing well in their life. One thing that we do with a lot of our meetings is when we start them, just to transition from the busyness of the day into our meeting, we have a personal positive and business best question that we ask. And so, say we were going to start our leadership meeting, I would go and talk about my personal best. And I can say, hey, my son just had his birthday last weekend. It was great. We did X, Y, Z. All his friends came over. It was awesome. And personal and business best could be, we just landed a new customer and I'm really excited for the team because it's going to increase our revenue and create new opportunities for us. And so that kind of allows, people to share what they want to share about their lives, because not everyone wants to share things with their coworkers. But having a relationship is important with your team. I always love breaking bread as well. So anytime we can do anything with food, restaurants, I always feel that's always special to share a meal with your team and just have a great conversation and see what comes from it.
Wonderful. Wonderful. All things I can appreciate that you do. And you said you learned from, I guess, maturing, what didn't work.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And part of this, as we talk about this is, as we both grow older and wiser, we might want to say, right? And we start learning more and more, not only about ourselves, but other people. And not just learning about them, but, I guess we're really kind of the concept of emotional intelligence. Right. And I've been reading quite a bit recently on emotional intelligence, and once again, it ties into kind of my self journey when it comes to growth and understanding myself, right, to better help understand myself and others. But when we start touching on self-awareness and self-regulation and, motivation and empathy and social skills, and if you have that upside employee understanding, why, this is what's on the surface, but really what's underneath the water, right? We talk about the iceberg effect, right? Like going, okay, they're reacting this way, but really what's the root cause of that? What's really going on? How much effort, I guess, do you make, once again, since you talked about, you'd like to know your employees personally at a level, right? Yes. Which I'm sure has to help with emotional intelligence.
Yes.
Walk me through some of that. And once again, getting older and wiser and learning about others. And I know that you've touched on emotion. You touched on emotion with coaching, with the team members. You touched about coaching with emotion with the parents, right? Because we know that nothing's worse than a bunch of parents when in school sports and the emotions get pretty high, right? Like going, you're not keeping score, but they are.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So, for me, it's really, when I see my team and each and every one of them, no one's perfect, right? Certainly. It's just like marriage, right? It's like, it's a team effort. Like it's a give and take. It's a highway with, two roads on it. And that's the same way I see employees. And, when there's something that's really not jiving with our core values or, with their performance, we'll break it down and we'll have a meeting with that individual and say like, look, this what you did here isn't working out. This is why. And those conversations go different ways. A lot of times what happens is they first, are very protective about how they feel and why they feel. And it's just more about listening to them. Mm-hmm. And then once, the employee, I think, sees that you do care, because I do actually care about their success here in the company. One thing I always telling them is like, I'm rooting for you. Like, I want you to win here and I want you to thrive here at SPO Networks. Both parties like put their guard down, and then you can really figure out like what's the underlying issue that person may be experiencing or going through. One time I had, someone share with me that, they're just not likable, and they know that about themselves, and that's why they're probably always going to be lonely in their life. Mm-hmm. And that brought tears to my eyes, because I'm just like, no one should be lonely in their life, right? And that's when you really are allowed, you can make a really good connection with someone. And then from there, I'm just a natural giver. I want to help them see the best version of themselves. And that's also, I think, another key point that I always let my team know is I always, hold the bar really high for everyone. And I see you at what you can be at someday. Another parallel to leadership and all this stuff is raising children. It's the same thing, right? Like, you see your children and you're just like, okay, you have it in you to do all these great things. I just need to show you how to get there. But that's what I do. It's like I have these conversations with them. I'm not just there writing them up saying like, you did this, this, and this. I need you to improve this by in 30 days. I'm going to send you to training, sign here, and keep it, to a 5-minute conversation. I'm really in there saying like, look, let's figure this out. Obviously, there's something that made you upset. What is it? Can we work on it? And at least at the end of the day, if this relationship doesn't work out, at least that I know that I gave it all my best, mm-hmm. that I really invested in them, because that's another thing too. It takes time away from me, from my team, courses, trainings that we have to put them through to really help them, set a new course. And that's what I've been doing to really handle that emotional piece of management with the team.
Wonderful. And how are you, how do you foster that emotional intelligence with your team outside of you? If obviously you being the CEO, you're the management team is supporting you and supporting the other team members. I guess, how are you influencing that emotional intelligence piece with them?
Yeah. I think it's just building a family, building a team, building a community, like winning as a team. Okay. So, I'm going to give you another soccer analogy here. I have sometimes employees or employees that have worked for me that they really just care about doing the best work for me individually as Ivan Fernandez, but not as part of SPA Networks or part of a team. I've had people in the past share with me that, hey, well, you're the one that signs my check. I just want to make sure you're happy with the performance, right? And when you look at that and you take that example and put it out on the soccer field, it's like having a star soccer player that, is really good at making goals, really good at passing the ball, really good at, just dribbling, but doesn't want to be part of a team. And in soccer, you can't win as an individual. You have to win as a team. And everyone has their roles. Everyone has their responsibilities. And that's kind of what I've been sharing with my team when it comes to this emotional piece is that we're a family, we're a unit, and we have to basically look out for each other. We have to encourage each other. We have to provide constructive feedback. The same thing happens out in the field. Like the best teams are giving each other feedback on the team. Like it's amazing to see, 8-year-old girls running out in the field and they're yelling at each other. Like, hey, get over there. Why didn't you do this? You need to blah, blah, blah. Or they come off the field and they're still talking about, maybe they're upset about it, but in their own way, they're giving each other feedback. And it's just a beautiful thing to see that. And that's, I think, the whole emotional part of a team is employees have to see that they are part of something bigger, not just, their one job. And, as a company, we also provide opportunities in our own community. Everyone takes money home, for their families. So, if we win as a team, their families at home win as well. And so just tying all this together, it's a lot, but just having them see that, this isn't just a job you come in 8 to 5, you're part of something bigger. And also, like, I think not everyone wants to bring up their issues to me, right? Because, well, Ivan's too busy, he's the owner. Even though I always tell everyone I have an open door policy, but then allowing your teammates or your employees to have their own relationships with each other, right? To help each other out. Like the other day, I was hearing how they were talking about, advice about life and things that they should do, shouldn't do. I don't want to go into details, but it was interesting just to see how they actually care for each other and giving each other advice on what they would have done in that situation. And that's, I think, the emotional piece of building a great team is allowing them to kind of act like a good family, good team.
Yeah, love it. And thinking back to, I don't know about you, Ivan, but I look back to my own past and go, hey, I think I was raised or my introduction to the workforce, it was always, there's the door and you leave your emotions there. You leave your problems that are outside of work at that door. You're here to do a job and everything else goes away magically when you walk through that door, which really isn't the case, right? There's a lot of influences in our lives that are impacting us, and we never know truly what's going on with that team member. And knowing that, hey, you're here. Not only we still have a job to do, right? But I guess I kind of look at it from the mentality of like, is your problems are my problems as well. They're our clients' problems, right? And we work through them together. And maybe it's through understanding. Maybe it's through, hey, maybe it's some time just to talk about it. Right. Because they don't have that resource to offload. Maybe it's just coming, hey, whatever, get your, take a few minutes extra, or let's work through this thing, or, hey, let's get you signed up, or maybe here's a good book, right? Yeah. How many times you're a gentleman like me, you like to learn, you like to grow, and we like to read some books. So I don't know, you tell me, it sounds like you're doing some of that yourself, but in today's workforce, and when we talk about the emotional intelligence piece, how important do you think that is in your organization? How important should it be for others in their organizations?
No, I think it's critical. I mean, I think we're not robots. We're all humans. We all have emotional things going on in life. We all have baggage. We all have our issues, and we all deal with it differently, right? Yeah. Some people love to come to work because they get to purposely forget about the stuff at home, right?
True.
Like, this is my zone. I love what I do, and this is what I enjoy doing. And they might be dreading going home, but it's honestly, I think the communication piece is just what it is. And this is why I even tell with customers too. It's, when projects aren't going right or there's an issue with a client, it's because there's a communication problem. And I think being able to be open and transparent with your team or teammates is critical for any team to work. And this is something I was kind of reflecting on the last couple of days, is how I always know that it's important to have an amazing team, but I just, thought about it and said, okay, it's really, really important to have a great team, and what a great team looks like, and, what constructive feedback looks like, and meeting people where they're at, and understanding that, we're not always going to be, positive and happy. It's a lot like marriage, and marriage takes work, but you put in the work and you have a beautiful marriage. It's like raising teenagers, right? I have 2 teenagers now. My oldest is 16, and some days she's like, "Don't touch me, don't talk to me, don't da da da," and other days she's just clinging on me like she was 8 years old again, and it's just understanding that she's on her own journey right now, developing her mind and herself. And, I get to be that strong father figure for her and show up every day and see her as, the daughter that she's going to be as she grows up.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing with communication and employees is just understanding that we all have stuff going on. I had another employee reach out to me about, changing his schedule. And I think he was surprised that I was so open to it. I said, life changes. I understand, like, you got to do this. Wife got this new job. You got to make some changes or a new position. I said, you've been amazing here at SPN Networks. You provided us, with great service to our clients, to me. Like, the least thing I can do is also be flexible with your work schedule so that, you can also do what you have to do at home and keep your family home, positive and working. So it's just a thing of giving and taking and being flexible, being open, communication, all those things. It's just the way I think the universe is supposed to work.
Hi, I'm Marc Thomas, founder and CEO of Current Tech Solutions and Cyber Guardians. If you or someone you know could benefit from our cutting-edge IT and cybersecurity services, we'd love to help. Our expertise in securing your business with AI precision ensures that you're protected and empowered to thrive. Reach out to us today to learn how we can secure and elevate your business.